Thank you for all coming. I'm here today with Mayor Smiley and Lisa Pena-Warren from the Nonviolence Institute. My name is Deputy Chief Tim O'Hara. We're here to tell you about the unfortunate shooting that occurred last night on Florence Street. At 7:40 p.m. last night, we responded to that area and we found a shooting victim. Unfortunately, that shooting victim was a 7-year-old child. She was rushed to Hasbro Hospital, where she is being treated in critical condition at this time, standing by with her family. We immediately activated all available resources to direct our efforts into finding out who was responsible for this terrible crime. We worked through the night, and sometime over the night, we found a car of interest, which led us to identifying one of the shooters. By the morning time, we identified the second shooter. We hit a couple of different locations, and at around 10 o'clock this morning, we were able to locate the two shooters in a house in Providence at 217 Carlton Street. These two individuals are identified as Amari Cabrera, age 19, of Providence, and Shaheem Nathaniel, 26 years old, of Cranston. And as I said, throughout the night, we worked tirelessly with all of our divisions, Patrol Division, Investigative Division, and with advice from Colonel Perez, we were able to develop a strong investigative, robust investigation. We were able to locate these two individuals and hold them accountable for this terrible crime. I hope it is some relief to the city, the family, and city officials that we're able to bring these two criminals into custody so quickly. And now I'd like to have the mayor come up and say a few words. Thank you.
Thank you, Commander. I'd like to start with my deepest sympathies and prayers for the recovery for the victim, who is still being treated at the hospital. This crime has shaken our entire city. It's shaken me. It's the first instance of a child being hurt in several years here in our city in this way, and it's deeply upsetting and I'm sure very concerning to our community. I share the commander's comments that we hope that we have two suspects in custody in such a short period of time that provides some comfort to both the family and to the community, because we know that the Providence police officers who worked without sleep through the night and using all of their skill and professionalism were able to make an apprehension so quickly that some level of fear and anxiety in our communities has diminished, knowing that there are responsible parties, we believe responsible parties now in custody who will be prosecuted. I want to thank also the Nonviolence Institute for the work that they do in our community on a daily basis to help break the cycle of violence, to provide support to victims, but also to work to resolve conflicts in a way that does not result in harm or injury or additional gunfire in our city. The commander and I were in touch throughout the evening and in the early morning. Additionally, I've been in touch with Colonel Perez throughout the evening and into the morning, and the professionalism of our police department should be celebrated. It's always difficult when we're in a position to respond to crime, but the work that they've done is exceptional. This caps off a couple of rough days in the city of Providence, and we know that. This is not a level of violence that should be acceptable to any of us, and I understand the real fears and concerns in our community that the last couple of days have felt very unsafe in our city. We take some comfort in the fact that this year we've removed more illegal guns from the street than last year. We take some comfort in the fact that year-to-date shooting victims are down in a meaningful way than this time last year. And we take comfort in the fact that almost all of our other crime statistics are better this year than the year before. But I know and acknowledge that there's no crime statistic in the world that can make a neighbor feel safe when they're woken up to the sound of gunfire. And so we resolve to do better. At this time, I think our energies are best focused on praying for the young child who's still in the hospital. But I know that I will, and I'm sure that many members of our community will wake up tomorrow resolved to do more and to do better, because this is not anything that we should accept for our Providence. The commander is available to take additional questions as he knows them on the crime, but again, I want to thank the men and women of the Providence Police Department for excellent police work last night and for swift progress on this honestly most horrific crime that's happened since I've been mayor. And I hope that this is a crime like this doesn't occur for a long time to come. Thank you.
Was the 7-year-old the intended target?
Absolutely not.
What has your investigation revealed about a random attack or?
We know that there was some kind of interaction between the shooters and the operator of that vehicle beforehand. Their connection and their relationship to each other is unknown at this time. Right now we know the who. The why is what we're still working on.
Deputy Chief O'Hara, what can you tell us about the suspects? Are they known to law enforcement? And then I have a brief follow-up.
They have pretty insignificant records. They don't have records of crimes of violence at this time, so that's all I can tell you about them.
Can you talk a little bit about some of the Providence police that were involved? I mean, it's pretty quick investigation. This is less than 24 hours.
Yes, certainly. Everybody was involved. The Patrol Bureau was involved. A newly formed Community Response Team was involved. The Detective Bureau, the Violent Crimes Task Force, and Narcotics Division. It was an all-hands-on-deck situation. Both our Youth Services Bureau and our Detective Bureau worked tirelessly through the night, and we really owe them a great gratitude for working so swiftly and successfully.
Can you elaborate more on the nature of the injuries of the 7-year-old girl?
Just that she sustained a gunshot wound.
Was there more occupants in that vehicle?
They were the operator and another family member.
Was that an adult, another child?
Another child and an adult driver.
In the back seat,
Yes,
where the little girl was?
they were both in the back seat.
What is the relationship between the victims and Florence Street? Were they just driving through the street? Do they live on that street?
They do not live on that street, and it's unknown why they were on that street last night.
What kind of charges are we looking at?
Well, right now we're looking at felony assault and various firearms charges.
For both suspects?
Both suspects, yes. Okay.
Obviously a hard scene for anyone. How is the department doing today? And I guess other city officials. Word is traveling fast about this.
Sure, it was, everybody was touched at the scene last night, and we want to solve every shooting. When you have a victim that age, it certainly takes on a different effect on people where they really want to act quickly. Officers had a job to do. They did it, and I'm just so proud of the Providence Police for successfully bringing this to such a quick conclusion.
Can't help but bring to light that we're just a few days from school. This is a 7-year-old girl. Can you tell us, is she a Providence student? And maybe the Nonviolence Institute wants to weigh in on any resources ahead of school for kids that may need it.
Sure. Well, she's a Providence resident. What school she attends, I do not know.
Do we know how quickly paramedics arrived after police? Some residents said seemed like 10 minutes before ambulances.
I don't have that exact time.
That's it?
Thank you.
Mayor, who wants to speak Spanish? You gonna say something in Spanish or the councilman say?
I don't know if the council people feel comfortable doing that.
They're part of the community.
They are part of the community, and they'd be welcome to speak if they'd like to, but I don't want to put them on the spot for that. We also would be, we would be happy to get the materials to you in Spanish and writing. I'm sorry that there's no Spanish speaker available at today's press conference, unless the council people would like to say something.
I just also wanted to ask, you
Yeah.
talked about a rough couple of days for
Yeah.
Providence. There was a scene earlier today that our crews went to involving some sort of fight at a gas station. Another 18-year-old was shot a few days ago. Just many things going on right now. Are you confident that your police department is handling everything appropriately and acting as swiftly as they can?
Yeah, the Providence Police Department has my utmost confidence, and I think the fact that we have 2 suspects in custody from this most recent crime so quickly is a testament to how good the Providence police are. Sadly, last night is a perfect example. Too often, Providence police are only in a reactive position, and they cannot be everywhere at all times to prevent all crimes. And policing is a major part of the solution, but it is not the entire solution. And preventing crime in our community is going to take a lot more than just police. And so they have my complete confidence, but we all need to be doing more. The folks at the Institute for Nonviolence work tirelessly, and we have invested more in them in my time in office, and we'll look to see what else we can do. Faith groups, community groups, recreation centers, job programs, job training, these are all part of the solution. The way in which we prevent more crime and break the cycle of violence is to meet the economic needs, the educational needs, and the family needs of our residents. So I want to reiterate my clear support for Providence Police, but also my knowledge. I know in my heart that police alone cannot stop violence in the city of Providence. We all have to do more. There was a question earlier about how the department's doing, and we do worry about their mental health as well, having to see horrific crimes like this. And I'll tell you that the city staff is hurting too, and this is a horrible thing that no one should have to see or witness or think about. But I also know that it motivates us to ask ourselves, what else can we be doing? What more can we be doing? And I would encourage all the members of our community to ask themselves that same question. Not that they have any responsibility for the violence of last night, but we all have a role to play in which we can make our community healthier and safer. And so that is the work ahead for me, and I look forward to working with community partners that care so deeply about our city to stop this cycle of violence. Obviously, illegal guns are a problem, and we're working hard to take those guns off the street and to make it harder to get them in the first place. But there's both the gun and the kind of community where it says it's okay to fire a gun. And so that behavior isn't going to get solved by gun regulations. That behavior is going to get solved by making our community healthier through our churches and our synagogues and our mosques, through our community organizations, through job and educational opportunities. And that work is hard and long-term, but we will do more and better.
Mayor, can we just ask a question of the new director of nonviolence?
Yes. To John, Rick, this is the last question.
So last night the commander mentioned that recently Providence Police at the school right next to the shooting had participated like in a wrestling program with some of the children. And I did see last night that the director, Michael Stevens, was on scene. I'm just curious if you could touch on the working relationship of the Providence Police in the community.
So we communicate a lot, trying to figure out how we can work together to bridge the gap between community and police, because it's very important to open up communication, but also for the community to see police as human beings and for police to see the community as human beings. To bridge those gaps, I always tell the story of when I was a little girl and we had Officer Friendly that came to the school every month or so to talk to the children. And, we need to build those relationships, and including hiring people from the community and making sure that we have a very diverse, and I think that Providence has done a really great job at doing so and continues, because I just met the new recruits that came to the Nonviolence Institute for the nonviolence training this week. So I got to see a lot of diversity, a lot of women that I was very happy and proud to see. So we're looking forward to what is to come.
All right, thank you guys.
Thank you.